Hello everybody. Welcome to probably one of the weirdest episodes of the Overly Sarcastic podcast that you will ever listen to. So I just today, like not even an hour ago, had a lecture on the Ptolemies, and for the first time ever I felt the need to just go home and record it, because wow, holy crap, never has every fiber of my being been telling me, Blue, just sit down and say all of these things. So I'm a little bit crazy right now because I'm crazy. But I've got my notes in front of me, and I'm just going to try to explain in a way that will not increase your understanding of history at all, but it should, at the very least, entertain you, and hopefully you share some of my insanity because, yikes. Yeah. So, basically when we talk about history, for the most part, there's the Greek world, which is before Rome, and there's the Roman world, which came after Greece. And there's this weird intermediate part between Alexander's campaigns and the Second Punic War, which was like Greece's last big hurrah and Rome's first big hurrah. And there's this period of like 150 years where no one really bothers to talk about what's going on, and everyone says, oh, look, it's the Hellenistic world, and yay, but no one knows what that means. So, basically, Alexander had no clear line of succession because he was like, 12? Nah, he's like 23, when he died of either alcohol poisoning or poisoning. So his kingdom was basically split up between his generals. So there was a kingdom in Macedon, some people in Greece, people in Egypt, where he took a little detour on his way through Persia, and his kingdom in Persia. So basically, Greece, Persia, and Egypt were the three kingdoms, and in Egypt was one of his guys, Ptolemy, who probably should have died before he had kids, because wow. Yeah, so things get weird. I'm just gonna go for it. So the first Ptolemy is Ptolemy the First Soter, or Savior in Greek, and he's interesting because he had to straddle this divide between being Greek and being Egyptian, so you see a lot of busts of him in the Greek fashion, but also a lot of busts of him in the Egyptian fashion, and they don't look at all alike. It's actually really interesting. And that's cool. He's fine. But he has a kid whose name is Ptolemy II, Philadelphos, who has his name after love of Sibling, Delphos' brother, but really it should be Philadelphia, which is sister, because he married his sister, which is weird to us because we live in a mostly Western world, but in Egypt this was the norm, so he was basically trying to blend in and show a very Egyptian face to the world and marry his sister, which the Greeks thought was very weird. And he proudly took the name Philadelphos, which means he was, I guess, okay with it, and hopefully his sister was too. And it's actually kind of funny because clearly the Greeks didn't like this at all, the idea of some Macedonian going off and marrying his sister. There's one poet whose name I forgot, it doesn't matter, who wrote this big panegyric thing in ridiculous praise of him, comparing him to the marriage between Zeus and Hera, because oh look, they're brother and sister, but it's okay because they're married. And you can tell he's stretching because marrying your siblings is weird, but that's nowhere near all that goes on with the Ptolemies, because it's insane. So next, oh, he's cool. Also, Ptolemy II's cool because he started the translation of the Old Testament into Greek, the Septuagint, which means 70 gints. That's not true, it means books. So then there's Ptolemy III, Ptolemy Euergetes, who was a different story, but he was so mad at the Macedonian leader in Greece that he actually funded a Spartan campaign against this other full Macedonian guy. These two are Macedonians who hate each other. And he took the Spartan king's daughters and then wife as ransom, which is kind of sad, but makes for an excellent poem. And I might read that at some point. But he's fun, I guess. That's really all he did. And up until this point, the Ptolemies were big players in the Aegean, which is a fact. And you may think that it's not really too crazy yet, but after Ptolemy III, things start to go downhill, and then things start to go really downhill really quickly, to the point where I have no idea how on earth we got Cleopatra, who was a Ptolemy, from the mess that I'm about to go into. So next is Ptolemy IV, Ptolemy Philopator, who is notorious for killing his mother and brothers. So I guess Pator was the only one who was left alive. Fun. He was also notoriously self-indulgent and had tons of orgies in the palace all the time. He once had an affair with either a brother and sister or a man and wife. I don't know, but it's weird. He basically banged everything that moved. He's like an Egyptian Alcibiades, almost. And then things start to go a little more downhill, and we have Ptolemy the Fifth Epiphantes, which means something in Greek. And by this point, Egypt had basically lost all of its Aegean holdings, just everything. It was gone. They were pretty much just confined into Africa, because they were doing a really bad job of ruling Egypt, because they just cared about having sex and getting money and power and things. I can't even read my notes. So, one reason that this guy is actually cool is because he was first made king, big air quotes, at a very young age, but like 12 years later, when he became properly king, he sent out a big, huge decree to all of the places in Egypt that was like, hey, look, yay, I'm king now, isn't that super cool? And he wrote it in Egyptian hieroglyphs, Egyptian Demotic, which was the common language, and ancient Greek. So, some 1,700 years later, 2,000 years later, almost on the dot, when Napoleon shows up in Egypt, he's like, oh, what's this giant stone thing? Oh, hey, it's the Rosetta Stone, which is like really the only reason we know anything about Egypt is because we have the Rosetta Stone and we decoded Egypt based off of the Greek. So that's cool, but he is otherwise not very important. Besides, he married a foreign princess, Cleopatra I, not the one that you know, it's a different one. Completely irrelevant. She was daughter of some other guy from Syria, basically. And then there's Ptolemy VI, who married his sister, Philometor was his name. Ptolemy VI Philometor. He loved his mother. I guess he didn't kill all the other members of his family because he married his sister. And Ptolemy VI is where things start to go way downhill. And my craziness and horrible delivery in this video, I'm sure, starts to make itself apparent. So, where's the chart? So Ptolemy V and Cleopatra I had 3 kids. Ptolemy VI, Ptolemy VIII, and Cleopatra II. So Ptolemy VIII was doing his own thing, and Ptolemy VI married his sister Cleopatra. Again, you're starting to see a trend here. Surely the gene pool is just getting devastated by this. And Ptolemy VI is the one who's in charge. He's ruling things, and Ptolemy VIII doesn't really like this. They didn't get along very well because they're both named Ptolemy. It's like, I'm 6, you're 8, I'm better than you suck, you know, that kind of stuff. So Ptolemy VIII goes over to Rome. He was like, Rome, help me, I'm dumb and stupid, and I'm a king who can't solve his own problems. And Rome's like, all right, guys, shut up. So Rome steps in and settles it. They're basically playing the mediator here because Rome is, after the Punic War, is powerful enough to do pretty much whatever it wants, and it realizes that Egypt is just a mess. They send a letter to someone I don't know or care who that basically says, Egypt is such an amazing country. It has so many people. It's so rich. It's so fertile. If only it was ruled by decent kings, they'd be so powerful. It would be insane. But obviously they're not, because these kings, like I said, care more about having sex and money and things than actually ruling anything. I was thinking in the middle of this class, I talked about the Borgia like it was the most insane thing, but no, the Ptolemies are every level of worse, and I'm not even done yet. So, Ptolemy VIII, who's called Fuscon, which is fat. I feel like that wasn't the name that he chose for himself. Poor old Ptolemy VIII gets kicked out by Ptolemy VI, who brings in a foreign king, Antiochus IV, who's from Syria. He's one of the Seleucid kings. and they co-rule together for a little while, and then Rome steps in, is like, what the hell are you doing? No, this is insane, you go get out of here. Rome is basically like the annoyed uncle who has to babysit the kids while the dad's away at work. The dad being Alexander, who died like 100 years ago at this point. Actually, no, 200 years ago. Yeah. So anyway, Rome steps in and says, all right, you foreign king, get out of here. Ptolemy VIII, you're good, you can come back. But you guys, you Egypt people, are basically in our faith. Infidum is the the Latin words. So then after that mess, Ptolemy VI dies, and his sister and wife, Cleopatra II, then marries Ptolemy VIII, who again is also her brother. So she's married one brother, and now she goes to marry the other brother after the first one dies. So that's okay, but it gets worse because Ptolemy VI and Cleopatra II had a daughter, Cleopatra III. So Ptolemy VIII, who's in charge, now has a wife who's his sister and a stepdaughter who he also marries, which causes lots of problems, and the inscriptions are hilarious because you see this pharaoh and two wives behind them. He described one as the sister wife, and one was the marriage wife, which doesn't make it better. It just still makes it weird. And yeah, so when you have two wives who are basically made to compete and happen to be mother and daughter, they start fighting in about 131 AD. That's the most history you'll get out of this entire podcast, is that there was a civil war of sorts. And then Ptolemy VIII runs off to Cyprus with Cleopatra III, the daughter, the younger one. And I think now is just a good time to take a step back and do a little checkup on what's been happening. So we have a line of kings, twicely inbred, and one who married his sister after she married her other brother who was also king, and then their daughter became the new king's wife, who's the second wife after his sister, and they're fighting each other, and the king takes his niece, who he's married to, and runs off to Cyprus. And then, plot twist, now getting back to the story, the mother, Cleopatra II, had a child with, god damn it, had a child with, what's his name? Ptolemy VIII. And this guy's Ptolemy VII, whose name's Ptolemy VII because historical records didn't clear up until after everyone figured out what the names were. So he was born later or something, no one really knows. And Cleopatra II sends Ptolemy VII, little baby Ptolemy, over to Cleopatra the third and her uncle and husband, Ptolemy VIII, and Ptolemy kills him and chops him up into tiny pieces and sends it back to Cleopatra II on her birthday. So, yeah. Just nothing like opening up a dismembered body of your child for your birthday. One for each candle. Oh, that's dark. I'm gonna forget I said that. Plot twist, that joke was funny, I'm keeping it in. So, yeah, that happens, and then, second, third, 10th plot twist is Cleopatra III, the niece, and her uncle, husband, Ptolemy VIII, come back to Egypt, and the three of them live in a happy family again, and since Ptolemy VIII feels really bad about murdering his son, they decide to elevate him to a lesser god rank. So again, we're back to the two wives, one king setup with mother and daughter, plus brother/uncle, and they're doing their thing. And then Ptolemy VIII dies, and then we're stuck between two kids, Ptolemy the IX and Ptolemy the X. After Cleopatra the II and the III are the only ones left, so they're arguing over which one should be king. And then Ptolemy the IX becomes king, because he was like older or something, I don't know, I don't care, it doesn't matter, it's funny. So then he marries another woman named Cleopatra, and then she dies, And then Ptolemy IX marries another woman named Cleopatra. And then when he dies, she marries Ptolemy X. What the hell? Guys. And that's where the lecture ended because we ran out of time. But honestly, riddle me this. How the hell do we get from that to Cleopatra, arguably the smartest woman in the ancient world? Because I'm Googling this right now. Here, go on a ride with me. Ptolemy X, Cleopatra. This is the weirdest video you will ever see on this channel. Actually, no, there was the April Fool's video. That was pretty funny. Okay, so Ptolemy X died in 88 BC. And Cleopatra was born in 69 BC. So between, like, triply inbred child Ptolemy X to Cleopatra, there was a span of, like, 30 years, 20 years. That's it. And we get from this mess to Cleopatra. How? Oh, I need to stop, but, like, good lord. That's the most insane history I've ever seen. This is the legacy of ancient Greece. Ancient Athens is like, yeah, we're gonna be so cool, we're gonna rule over all the Greeks, and Macedon's like, lol, nope, just kidding, it's us, and then Alexander dies drunk at a party, and this shit happens. No! Thank you very much for tuning into the 12th episode of the Overly Sarcastic podcast. I need a drink, and I will see you all later for a reading of philosophy on Friday.